The wide end is thought to be a receiving dish or end. The small notch on the opposite end is thought to be the transmitting end. Every 15 to 30 seconds, this object produces some kind of anomaly, thought to be some kind of generated source of power, creating a magnetic distortion. Very small, but constant. This is the undersurface. The material is very, very similar into what the suit was made out of that I could determine. The suit was very, very small in mesh, where this is very, very large. It is almost a fibrous, globular-looking construction. When touched, it felt moist, but yet there was no moisture on your skin. You can see the gold pins that protrude through the surface of the black material. Each one is penetrating a sphere of almost pure emerald.
Those are the 3 pins.
They are all different in length and different in dimension. When I first saw this thing, it was buried underneath a fern about 3 feet away from where this creature was in the woods. When I went to pick it up, I thought it was a can from a hiker until I got within about 5 inches of it, and then I realized that it wasn't. So I threw it in the thermal blanket and wrapped it up and brought it home. It's a very unusual shape. Its thickness varies from one end to the other. It's almost like a molded piece of sculpture. There seem to be no seams on it. The attachment of the black surface could not be determined on how it was attached. In a moment you'll see the close-up of the black material, and it almost has a spider web look to it in layers. As you're sitting here watching this, I just want you to keep thinking one thought. If this happened to you, everything that you know that's happened to me, what would you do? Here's your close-up. You can see the spheres that are penetrated by each of the gold pins, and the black matrix surface that surrounds them. Underneath the matrix surface were little pouches of fluid, some kind of fluid that ran at different angles to different points of the cuff. The pins had no hole in them, so I'm assuming it was nothing to be let out or taken in, but probably part of the circuitry.
What were the differences?
I don't have that information. Somebody asked when I placed this on the arm of the creature, which I fondly took to calling Freddy, if the pins penetrated the suit. Yes, they did, into the arm, as far as I could determine. It clamped closed around the arm and turned instantly black.
This is what they're after, right?
Pardon?
This is what they're after.
I believe this is what people are looking for. Someone asked, is this what they're after? I'm sorry, I can't hear your question.
Can we wait until we're at question and answer, please? And then we can bring people up to the microphone. You all have great questions. We just want everyone to be able to hear them.
Again, you can see the emerald spheres. Make some nice earrings. They'd be unique, I'll give you that.
All the properties and the abilities of the Link artifact aren't known, even by the Alliance. There's still a lot of questions to be asked by them and others as to exactly what other properties, what other things this artifact can do.
It's thought that this interface with the wearer is also connected to another piece of, shall we say, hardware, possibly the obelisk, possibly something else. So it takes a combination of devices and consciousness to probably activate this.
Is that try it on a human arm?
Not at this time. Are you volunteering to try it? Anyway, this is what I found, and this is what I think they're after. And I will say it one more time. I do not have it. I do not know how to get it at this time. I have one contact that contacts someone else, that contacts someone else, that contacts someone else, and maybe, under the right circumstances, I can get it back. But I do not want it back in fear of losing it and losing everything.
Good.
You want to do a question and answer for
It's just about over.
I wanted to say something about the samples that were taken by Mr. Chacon. Shortly after the Art Bell interview, he was threatened and has left the country. But he told us that he will publish the report.
I took blood samples and tissue samples from Freddie when I did the exam. And we went on Art Bell December 9th and basically exposed this information with a lot of other information. As soon as that happened, as soon as we were on that show, these people were threatened. My landlord of my old house went on that show and told what he saw in my house after it was torn apart. 3 days later, he was beat up by 3 men. This man is not a violent man. He has never had a problem in his life. Mr. Chacon was threatened.
I want you to ask yourself something. I want you to take the word sources and replace that word with human lives. You all have friends, you all have families, people you love and care about. Would you give them up? Would you surrender them to all these vultures?
You know, I'm here not to convince anyone. In fact, if I had this to do over again, I would have never done it like I did. I would have left this thing and walked away and pretended I never saw it, because it's ruined my life.